10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Ghostwriter,
Beyond
beyond
the
the page.
Howdy! We are back and ready for the next episode of Ghostwriter Beyond the Page. Today, we're going to dig in deeper with one of my personal favorite books because we are going to jump into the wild, wild west of outer space with Trinity, written by yours truly, me. That's me right there. I really loved writing this book because it's full of adventure and excitement and twists and turns as the two main characters, Hitch and Dale, travel along a winding trail in search of the truth. So I'm really excited to see what winding road Ghostwriter is going to put Donna on to get her closer to finishing her story. Let's check it out.
Welcome to Donna's video diary. So far we have who, Sapphire the spider, and now we have where. For my setting, I decided what better place for Sapphire and her friends than a place we all know is filled with amazing adventures, surprises, and information. The bookstore. I think writing about a place I can really picture is going to help me feel more sure of my descriptions. Plus, it's so cool to think about the bookstore from Sapphire's tiny perspective. The fashion section is where she, of course, spends most of her time. But she also goes to school in the textbook section with her friends. And her older brother Spellman plays soccer in the sports section. There's so many amazing places they can explore right there in the store. Now, let's see what might be up next. Nothing? I thought Ghostwriter would have shared something by now. Why? Ghostwriter is really sticking to a pattern with these hints. Let's see. Why? Why?
Well, hello there, Miss Donna. What is it you're trying to solve?
Dale! I'm so glad you're here. You always show up to save the day.
Well, I'm flattered. Is there something you need help with? Some kind of mission?
You could say that. I really want to finish this, mission, but I keep getting stuck.
That is tricky. For me, when it comes to fighting crime and chasing down scoundrels, it's certainly much harder to come up with a resolution if you don't know what the real problem is. When Hitch and I were after the Camarillo kid, we didn't know what he was after or where he was headed, but once we figured out he was after the Trinity, we had a much better chance of catching him. As we were trying to recover the Trinity, we ran into conflicts and obstacles every step of the way, from an army of knights in armor to a double-crossing mayor.
Wow, what a story. It's like every moment builds on top of the one before, until everything finally gets fixed. Wait, Dale, that's perfect! You have no idea how much you just helped. You totally saved my day.
Very glad to hear it. I'll be on my way. Hitch is waiting at the station for me. Best of luck, Miss Donna.
What Dale goes through in Trinity, all of the ups and downs, the action moments, and the resolution she finally comes to with Hitch, those are all elements you need to create a plot of any story. I've so got it. This hint is all about plot. It's the whole reason why I've put together my character and setting, to actually put them into the story. I bet there's a good chapter in Trinity full of action-packed plot moments to help me out. Let's try chapter 8. At this point in the story, we already know that the Rivens are a rebel colony living on a planet called Tensor 4, and they're causing a lot more trouble than anyone realized. I can't wait to read how Dale uses her training as a sky marshal to help her out. Come out, the bald Riven called to Dale in a sing-song voice. You don't want us to blow up in the hatch now, do you? Whoa. Dale's mind raced. She was scared. Really scared. What do you want from me, she called out. From you? Nothing at all, the Riven called back. You're free to go. We want your ship. No, they couldn't get the ship. It would be better if it was destroyed, and Dale knew how. Okay, Dale called. I'm coming out. She had to work fast. If the Riven suspected that something wasn't right, they might blow up the ship. Just getting my gear together, Dale yelled. All deputies were taught to be prepared for situations like this one. It was a drastic move, but Dale saw no other way. She stood over the cockpit controls and entered a series of special commands. Her fingers flew over the control console, inputting the commands in what she'd hoped was the exact right order, because she wouldn't be getting a second chance. There were 20 commands in all. When she reached the final one, she held her breath and threw the last toggle switch. Instantly, every light on the cockpit panel flashed red. Yes! Dale pumped her fist in victory. She'd done it! The ship was disabled. Forever. No command could make it ever fly again. From that moment on, the ship was about as useful as a garbage dumpster. Time's up! The Riven was losing his patience. Okay, I'm coming out. Dale ran to the far side of the ship, where her flight cycle, Lulubelle, sat. She jumped into the saddle and powered up. Lulubelle rose a few inches off the deck. Dale punched a command into her wristband computer, and the ship's hatch door began to rise. She gunned Lulubelle's engine and sped forward. She flew through the opening with barely an inch overhead to spare. Dale shot away from the ship, past the group of surprised Rivens, and into the night. That was amazing. This chapter is basically a whole story by itself, as Dale overcomes the trouble with the Rivens. It all makes so much sense now. A story is made up of the setup, or exposition, the conflict with all of its obstacles, and finally, the resolution. Let's dive right in.
Donna is in great shape. She's been working really hard, and she has come up with her characters, she's come up with her setting, and now she's working out all the interesting key plot points for her story. And I hope you are too. You're still working on your story, right? And you're still writing those ideas down in your bullet journal, because there's no better way to brainstorm ideas than writing it down in your journal. So I hope you're doing that. And if you want to dive deeper into the Ghostwriter world, be sure to pick up Trinity and read it. It's my book. And then go to the Wild Wild Ghost section of the activity guide. And as always, check in with the entire Ghostwriter gang on Apple TV Plus for episodes of the show. So until then, we'll see you.